Buying a neglected property can be a great way of getting more house for your money, and with a bit of creativity and dedication, you can end up with a unique family home. Empty properties come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, but the one thing they all have in common is the potential to inspire creatively minded buyers, people who can see through the dilapidation to create their own dream home.
Wow, that's striking.
Wow, this is beautiful.
What do you think of that one?
Wow, I really like that.
We're on a quest to seek out abandoned houses that are just waiting for new owners to unlock their potential and turn them back into homes again. I'll be taking a couple of property hunters around 2 vacant houses in the hope of finding them a spacious family home.
Oh, that would be my absolute dream, would be a barn conversion.
And we'll be showing how once rundown houses have been turned into gorgeous homes. Now, the idea of taking on a property that needs a bit of modernisation might at first seem a little bit off-putting, but with a bit of imagination, you can open up a whole new world. Jim and Rachel Hammond, along with their 2 children, Poppy and Theo, have sold their Wiltshire home of 10 years and are now renting it back from the new owners while they look for something bigger.
Our ideal would be the big kitchen that could be the real focus of the house.
And the big enough bedroom to put a wardrobe in.
Yeah, at the moment our bedroom's so small we haven't even got a wardrobe.
Jim works in Bath, so needs to be within an hour's commute from the city. But this family is bigger than just 4 people. They've also got a whole menagerie of animals to consider, including 2 horses, which are currently stabled 5 miles away.
I would love to be able to look out of the bedroom window and see the horses in the field, you know, behind the house. That would be my dream.
Luckily, Jim and Rachel aren't scared of a serious project.
We'd be happy to do a full renovation, really. We would buy something like an old barn that needed totally...
With cows in it?
Yeah,
whatever.
that needed totally starting from scratch.
But that's because they've got a secret weapon.
Jim's brother-in-law is a builder, so he's going to be any property we find to renovate. He will be the one doing it, yes.
They've got a budget of £350,000, but that's not a lot for the space they're looking for. So an empty house in need of renovation could be perfect. Well, you two, here we are in Wiltshire, your current home. Give me an idea of what the plan is for the future.
Definitely would like to move somewhere more rural and out in the countryside.
Yeah.
Possibly with the horses closer would be brilliant.
So how long have you been looking for?
18 months, 2 years?
Yeah. Seriously for that long, but I probably, if I'm honest, I've been looking for years.
Dreaming for years.
Yeah.
Dreaming
Keeping my eye on things for years.
But presumably you've been looking at houses which are kind of ready to go. I mean, the idea of taking on an empty property, is that a relatively new idea?
I think because of the budget thing, has meant that we've realised we're probably not going to get something that we can just move into and it's lovely.
Yeah.
So I think we have come around to thinking, well, we are going to have to look for something certainly in need of modernisation, in need of work.
It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but go about it with an open mind.
Sure.
And we'll see what we can find you.
Lovely.
Good. Come on then. So they're looking for a minimum of 3 bedrooms, a large kitchen diner, plenty of outside space for the animals, and in a rural area within an hour's commute of Bath. Even with £350,000 to spend, Jim and Rachel would really struggle to find a newly renovated house that ticks all of their boxes. First up, we're at an empty home in the small market town of Calne in Wiltshire, about 19 miles northeast of Bath. What's on offer is this 1920s 3-bedroom semi. There's plenty of space to the side, offering potential to extend. Plus, it's on the market for £215,000. So there's plenty of change left over from their £350,000 budget to create the space they're after. Come on in.
Wow.
You said you wanted an empty project. There you go. What do you think of that one, Jim?
Well, it looks...
It's nice looking.
It is very nice looking, yeah.
I mean, it's difficult to see because all these trees have just got out of control.
Exactly.
They're making it very dark on this side. I mean, if all that went, you'd have a very light property.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, you can see the difference with the house next door, can't you?
We haven't got you acres.
Sure.
in terms of the horses.
Yeah.
Sure.
But what it does have is that edge of village, edge of town location.
Yeah.
I suppose the key thing to take on board at this point is the price.
Right.
It's on the market for 215.
215.
Right.
Okay.
That's sounding interesting.
But let's go through inside
Okay, yeah.
and see what you make of it.
The owner inherited the house and it's been empty for 6 months. Inside, it's in need of modernisation.
What do you think?
I'm pleasantly surprised, actually. Love
Really?
the fireplace, love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, working
Yeah.
fire. Space-wise, I think it's quite
Yeah.
interesting because space is what you're struggling with at the moment,
Yeah,
isn't it?
and a lot of older properties we've looked at have been really pokey and felt
They
really
have, yeah.
tiny, and I don't think this doesn't feel like that, does it?
No, no.
But the walls look like in good condition. I imagined it was going to be, you know...
Full of damp
yeah,
and
and
stuff,
plaster hanging off. And,
I mean, it's not a period building, this, but they have incorporated in the past some quite interesting old doors, and the furniture's really nice on them.
yeah,
It's brass locks,
Yeah.
and again there.
Yeah.
So
I like the doors.
there's quite a few things that you can kind of salvage from it in terms of, you know, character, but, you know, space-wise is the
yeah,
key thing.
yeah.
Kitchen next. Come and have a look in here. This is what you get in this one.
I love the armour.
Yeah, I do, and this...
This is a Rayburn. It's actually, if you look in there, it's a solid fuel one.
Oh, right, yes.
Okay, so traditionally these days, you know, one would have, you know, oil or gas. That's buckets of coal, wood, whatever you want.
Right.
I think you probably want a new one,
Yeah, yeah.
to be fair, because the only problem with these solid fuel ones is that you've got to keep filling them up. If you're not here, it goes out, everything's cold. So,
Sure.
but you could put a nice gas one in there.
Yes.
And then through that door there, we've got the bathroom. There is only
Right.
one in this house, and it's down there. And again, you'd probably want to renew
Yeah,
all of that.
yeah.
So what do you think about this one?
It feels quite small.
Well, there may be an opportunity to extend the whole building
Right.
over 2 stories. It'll all become clearer when we get outside, but let's go upstairs and have a look at that.
Okay.
So before we talk extensions and architects, it's upstairs where there are 2 good-sized bedrooms and a master.
So this is the biggest of the 3 rooms that are currently in here.
Right.
You're not overlooked.
No, it's
not
very
at all.
private.
In fact, you can hardly look at anything at all.
No.
Because those trees are masking the view. Again, they are taking light out of up here
Yeah.
as they do downstairs.
Yes. I think one good thing you could say is we definitely could fit a wardrobe in this room. It's a real bonus for
Do you
us.
struggle at the moment?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the master bedroom scored points for size. But will the extension potential at the side of this house convince Jim and Rachel to seriously consider it? Whenever you're taking on a major building project, it's essential to get an architect in to draw up detailed plans. So we asked a local one to give us a rough estimate for the cost of building a 2-storey extension.
Given that it's $215 to buy, you've got $350 or so in the budget. He's saying about 120,000 to effectively give you a 2-storey extension heading that way, which would add, yeah, a good third to this place.
Yeah.
And generally sort of tidying it all up. It's a very rough figure,
Okay.
but it would certainly fit within your 350.
Yeah. I like the garden around the other side. That's lovely. The privacy, I love that.
Hopefully it's given you a few ideas.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Taking on an empty place can be hugely rewarding, both financially and emotionally, letting your imagination run wild, transforming it into your perfect home. Something Sue and Ben Blackburn are all too aware of, as they took on a huge project when they bought this disused outdoor pursuit centre on the North Yorkshire moors.
All the external walls had to be taken down. Everything was demolished internally and then redone to suit our requirements.
They bought the building for £220,000 in 2001 and began a 4-year journey to turn it into their ideal home.
Everything from re-roofing to my wife driving the dumper to excavate. So everything from below ground to as high as you can and everything in between.
The Blackburns saw the scope to develop the building with the aim of transforming part of it into holiday cottages.
We bought the property because of the potential. We bought it because it was what we'd been looking for. It was an ideal opportunity. We got all the plans for the building. We then had to present it to National Parks with the planning application. And once that went through, then we knew we could go ahead with it. But there was no point buying the property unless we knew we could do the refurb to the cottages that we'd intended.
But it wasn't all plain sailing.
The most difficult challenge here was probably supporting Ben, because Ben found it a little demoralising, to say the least, initially.
One day you're on top of the world, things are going right. The next day things go a bit pear-shaped, and you've got to be able to pick each other up and help and work as a team.
They've ended up with a home in an amazing location, and it's thanks to having the courage to tackle an abandoned building, which has more than doubled in value since they finished the renovation.
If the property was in the current condition when we were looking at it in 2001, there's no way we would have been able to afford to buy it.
To see a property in such disrepair, but in a location that was totally idyllic, I suppose it's a win-win for anybody looking to take on a project and develop it. You always want the worst house in the best street, and a bad house in the national parks, what more can you ask for?
If you do think you've found your dream wreck or doer-upper that you could turn into your perfect family home, well, odds are you're going to have to act pretty quickly to beat the developers. But be sure to do your homework first before completing on the sale and parting with your hard-earned cash.
Get a builder round to give you an estimate for any alteration costs. Book a meeting with the planning office to discuss how feasible your ideas are, and be realistic about what you can afford to do. Remember, once you pick up the keys, there's no going back. Jim and Rachel Hammond have sold their house and are renting it back from the new owners while they search for something bigger within an hour's commute of Bath. They've got £350,000 to spend, and I think an empty home is their best bet for finding what they need within budget. The first house I showed them is on the market at £215,000, but they probably need to spend another £120,000 to make it big enough for them. But it doesn't have the acreage they want, and that elusive X factor was missing for Rachel.
I'm just not getting a really great feeling about it, I have to say.
Now I want to show them a very different building that's just waiting to be loved. Poplar Barn in Orkley is about 40 miles northwest of Bath. No one has ever lived in this barn conversion, but its owners are unable to finish it, so they've decided to sell.
How do we feel about barn conversions? Do you either love them or you hate them?
Lovely. Oh, no, that would be my absolute dream, would be a barn conversion.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, it has been part converted. A lot of the structural stuff inside has been done. So the good news is that it's dry in there.
Right.
But land.
Looks
The
good.
big question.
2.5 acres.
Oh, brilliant. It looks lovely.
The other exciting thing is that next door is a livery yard.
Oh, fabulous.
So you're in horsey
Yeah, horsey
territory.
heaven.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the rub. Cost-wise, this is currently on the market for £325,000.
Right.
But what I'm hoping is that your brother-in-law and your, ability to have a go yourself, Jim.
Sure.
If you can kind of see beyond the 325, I know it only leaves you technically 25,000 of your 350 budget, but if you could stretch it a bit, because of what it is and where it is, it might be worth it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Want to see?
Yeah, definitely.
Come on.
Now, to see this barn conversion as a cosy home does take a lot of imagination, as it's a long way from being completed. But if Jim and Rachel have vision, this could be a great opportunity to tailor this building to their exact needs.
As you can see, a lot of the internal arrangements have been already done.
Yeah, the major work's been done, hasn't it?
Yeah. To finish it off, though, of course, you're obviously looking at damp course, concrete. If you wanted to put underfloor heating in, you're at the right stage to make that decision.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, I can't physically take you upstairs because there is no staircase
I see.
at the moment.
I never thought of that.
All right.
You can see it from here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Get a nice view. But effectively, it's configured for 3 beds.
Right.
But again, you could potentially squeeze a 4th if you need one. How are you thinking? How are you
Yeah,
feeling?
no, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Are
definitely.
you feeling daunted, Jim? Or?
I am, because I know she really likes it.
Well, let's see what you do with the rest of it. Come and have an explore. I'd make this the kitchen.
Wow.
Yeah?
Yeah. Lovely size.
Pretty useful space, isn't it?
That's
Yeah,
lovely, yeah.
But the key thing is we've just caught this at the right time. It's a way off, but it's not far off.
Yes, yeah. It's like a blank canvas, really.
Yeah. Well, we often use that phrase, but this one really is.
Yes, yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Well, let's go outside and give it some setting.
Out the back, the view is as rural as Jim, Rachel and their horses could ever wish for. Plus, there's also a detached double garage and storage shed included in the sale. As the conversion is still away from being finished, we had a local builder give us an estimate for completing the works.
They're saying about 80 to 100,000 to finish it off, which would push you to a ceiling of about 400 grand. But 60% of that, they say, is labour.
I think we need to talk to Jim's brother-in-law and see what he thinks.
If you can put in a bit of extra graft yourselves,
Yeah.
with a long-term view on this place, you probably won't do it all for 350, but, you know, it would mitigate the overspend that you'd need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wheels turning?
I can hear
Yeah,
them.
at speed.
Right, come on.
Jim and Rachel have seen two very different empty properties, but will they be putting in any offers? Find out later on. When it comes to empty properties, sometimes you have to play a waiting game. More than a decade after his initial inquiry, architect Chris Dyson finally got the keys to this Georgian townhouse in Spitalfields, East London.
When we took it on, we had to basically rebuild it. I found it in a very distressed state, really neglected property.
Because of a dispute over ownership, it wasn't until 2006 that he finally bought the former squat for £658,000.
The only original feature was the staircase and a bit of panelling associated, nothing much else, really, that was it.
Right from the beginning, Chris had a passion to sympathetically restore the 18th century house.
It was a case of modernising the building, but also respecting the integrity of the period of the house, which is 1720s. That was very important to me, in particular, as an architect, to make it fit, not to scream, this is a modern building in the street. One time it was like a broken tooth.
After a complete overhaul, he's created a stunning family home, along with office space to run his business from home.
We spent, in total, £500,000 on it. When we finished it, we had it valued at 1.8 million, so it's been worth it.
It was a huge undertaking, but it's paid off for Chris, saving him more than £500,000 over the cost of a similar, newly renovated house.
I think we are just wardens of time owning these houses. We're not actually the real owners, if you like. We hold them for a period of time, and that's a great thing. I feel really quite honoured to be able to live in one of these houses, and really, this was the only way I could afford to do it.
So if you want to get your hands on an empty property and turn it into your next home, here's how to start your search.
As well as registering your interest with your local estate agents, if you're particularly looking for a home in a rural setting, ask them about land that's for sale. Sometimes there'll be a building on it which may be in disrepair, but could be saved from demolition. And look around your neighbourhood. Some forgotten homes are easier to spot than others. Look out for obvious signs of neglect, like an untidy garden and shabby paintwork. And don't just consider abandoned houses. Subject to planning approval, disused schools and pubs can make interesting homes too. Now, I've been showing Jim and Rachel Hammond some options that could be transformed into a family home. They want a minimum of 3 bedrooms, a large kitchen diner and plenty of outside space for their animals in a rural location within an hour's commute of Bath. I've taken them round 2 very different houses, but have I convinced them an empty building might be for them?
Well, Rachel, Jim, how have you found it?
Interesting.
Eye-opening.
Eye-opening?
Yeah.
OK, well, let's have a think about the very first one. we looked at. I got the impression, I think as we said at the time, that you didn't really go for it.
No.
No.
I think the privacy aspect was brilliant. That's what we said we wanted, particularly in the garden, and that was lovely. But there was no feeling of the space and the countryside.
We went there because it was very, very close to where you had said you wanted to be.
Yes.
But in a bid to get you the land that you wanted, we took you some distance away
Yes.
from your preferred area to 2.5 acres
Yeah.
with a half-finished barn conversion.
Huge potential. We've never really considered a house which obviously needed so much work before, and obviously the second property we viewed, obviously it really did need a lot of work doing to it, but
Yeah.
I could see the prospect of finishing picture, you know what I mean, what it could be.
Now, of course, it is on the market for £325,000, which is pushing your top end at 350. But forget about the money. Easy to say, but forget about the money for now. Is it the kind of property that you think you might be interested in?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, it ticked all the boxes, really, didn't
Yeah, I think you could make it really beautiful.
it? Let's hope they take an offer here.
Well, that, I suppose, brings me on to my final question. Are you going to put in an offer?
I think, potentially we could do if we've, find out a bit more of the finer detail. Then, we're certainly interested, aren't we?
Very interesting.
I'd love to think that you two might be the people to take it forward into a kind of new generation of what that building can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, let us know how you get on. Of course. And if you do finish it, I'd love to come and see it.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, trying to find the right property for the right buyer is always a challenge, and when it comes to empty properties, well, it can just get that little bit tougher. But on this occasion, as far as Jim and Rachel are concerned, I think we might have got there. And that means a happy ending not just for them, but also for that lovely barn.